tell you about my counter-oppressive consultation and curriculums. I title most of my courses How Sustaining Self and Others Forms of Feedback Loop. Innovating activism to bridge across divides, intersectional movements like social justice and climate action, introverted activism and a revolution of the heart. I'm interested in decolonizing minds, movements, and collectives to increase effectiveness. I give a comprehensive look at the perspectives of collaborative, hierarchy attenuating, regenerative leadership as a means to counter oppression. I look at diversity's role on increasing positive fiscal outlooks and innovative approaches in business. My courses are about understanding systems of oppression, unpacking social justice theories to better access liminal spaces as leverage points for personal and collective liberation. I have tools for marginalized communities to gain empowerment, tools for privileged allies in countering oppression. I look at trauma as a barrier to engagement and a catalyst for transformation. How trauma factors into the perpetuation of oppression through dialectic deficiencies, from subversive triggers like white fragility, or the oppressed becomes the oppressor, limited emotional intelligence and social capacity's role in creating far-right thinking, microaggressions and intergenerational transmission, the accumulation of trauma on lowering self-determination, also looking at trauma healing as a radical act of social change, trauma as a catalyst for resilience, post-traumatic growth, integrating trauma recovery methods and practices to co-create effective intersectional movements. I utilize spiritual technologies or energy healing for the sake of countering oppression, reclaiming its appropriation as a form of spiritual bypass. I look at the 2I seeing form of integrating Western healing practices with indigenous ways of knowing to co-create more effective, transformative programs. I do a somatic inquiry into power and understanding modes of power. Power over, under, power with, power from within, social power. I look at the role creating larger models of systems theory assessments can assist in comprehensive analysis of how oppression is woven and unwoven in individuals and collectives. So I use genograms and tracking intergenerational patterns. I use Bronfenbrenner's model of nested bioecological systems. I use social dominance theory. I use Bowen's emotional nuclear systems theory and inventories. I use evaluative methods from multicultural competence, creating content for multiple learning styles to make information receptive to a diversity of minds. I look at how the legitimization of authority and identity formation plays a role in countering or perpetuating oppression, the medical industrial complex's way of classifying defect to necessitate cure, how integration is not assimilation, but the development of psychologically recognized racial and integrated models of identity formation phases and stages. I utilize comics and games and exercises and lectures and journaling and meditation and case studies, again, to meet multiple learning styles. This is about unpacking the context of intersectionality, racism, sexism, ableism, xenophobia, homophobia, transphobia, climate action, hegemony, institutional racism, and white cis patriarchal heteronormative structures. I look at how, and I explain ways that you can be more of an ally to properly engage in discussions on the topic without committing classic faux pas of re-traumatization, and interactive practices to familiarize participants with anti-oppression dialogues. I use microaggression analysis and theater of the oppressed. I'm really excited to share this work with you. It's my life's work. It's my lineage. It is my mother's work. And I hope it'll become your work as well, because together we can create positive social change. But more change agents would really make this more effective.